Alright, I'm coming back out here with another video. At the railroad tracks, it's just super dark to me, and the human eye can barely see anything except for what's lit up. Using an iPhone 13. So the reason I'm making this is because Goodnight Gear made a video comparing the SVG5 versus Gen 3, and I'm just going to be bluntly honest. I really think Gen 3 would honestly destroy this thing. I don't know what kind of lighting conditions he was in, and I mean, he's in California. Lots of ambient light pollution, and there is no overcast. It is completely clear, starry sky. The only ambient light pollution is I have location Canton, Georgia. So let me look at this real quick. I think I have it set to a certain brightness level 4, I think. No, level 5. All right, and I'm gonna look at this because I'm gonna give you guys, whoops, I turned this up a little bit too much. I'm gonna set it to level 4 brightness, like that, level 4. That's what's comfortable, but I'm gonna set the brightness on the ISO as close to the human eye as possible. So let me look at this to actually get a memory of what it looks like. I'm gonna put it through here. There we go. And then I'm gonna take that ISO and just bring it down to what you actually see. I'm gonna bring it up just a tad bit because of YouTube's stupid algorithm. I'll bring it down just a little bit. This is the hard part. Now, this is what you actually see, and right now I have it set to 100 FPS, and it's very dark. Now, last night I could see in the human naked eye. Right now I can't, because there was overcast and it was about to storm, and there was getting a lot of light pollution bouncing off of the clouds there. But right now you have clear skies. Now, out here in the open field, you'd be able to see a lot more, way more. But this is what it genuinely looks like at 100 FPS looking around. That's what it looks like in the deep woods right there. I'm trying to get this adjusted. It's kind of a pain. I think there's only so much I can do, but honestly, I think Gen 3 would see a lot better than this in this kind of lighting condition. Let's see, human eye. I faintly see the tracks up to about 10 feet. That's about it. But this thing can see way more. So you could navigate to an extent without supplemental IR. And in the human eye, you don't see that flickering from the screen. I don't know what's going on there, why it's flickering. I should have used my iPhone, my other iPhone that I have, because it actually doesn't show that flickering, which is nice. Mosquitoes are bothering me. But you can, if you got real close, you can see a little bit of the details of the grass and stuff like that on the ground, despite the flickering. Yeah, I'm sorry about that flickering. There ain't much I can do about that. Now we can set it to 50 FPS to bring the noise down some. So that way I can give you guys what it looks like at 50 FPS. It does not make that much of a difference. yeah, that flickering's a pain. In the human eye, you don't see that at all, but it's not helping the iPhone at all. I had to charge my other iPhone, which was kind of sad, but I mean, you can see a pretty fairly good deal. This is like Gen 2. In them woods, if I brought Gen 2 Plus out there, now over here, it would see really good. I think a Gen 2 would probably see a little bit better than this. Gen 2 Plus, just a hair more. But deep in them woods, unfortunately, I think Gen 2 would probably also struggle. Gen 2 Plus, Gen 3 would not. It would destroy both Gen 2 Plus and Gen 3. I mean, this device. So what I'm trying to do is show you what it actually is really like when you're in an environment region like me, where you live in a small town, you don't have a whole lot of ambient light pollution, like California or a big city where you're deep in the woods and you've got plenty of light to bounce off through the sky. And you know, I feel like analog would still kind of like destroy this thing in some circumstances, but given in an open field, like as you see down there where it's getting more open, where the trees are, I can't see where I'm walking, so I gotta be real careful so I don't trip and bust my head on this railroad tracks. But in an open field like that, you would be able to see pretty good. You'd be able to see fairly decently. And let's see what happens when I bring the brightness up. Oh, well, that helps the flickering out a little bit. Now this will drain my battery. That's exactly what you would see in the human eye with the ISO. That's actually what it looks like. So there is some potential. I can see details of the ground there. I can see some stuff. I could see down there. Oh yeah, I got some details down there. Maybe in the human eye, because I feel like the iPhone camera really realistically pulls out more off the screen than what your eye will. Now, if you had two of these up to your eyeballs on a bino setup, it'd do really good. Dang, that light is bright to that thing. And it is lighting everything up over there. That's crazy, because in my human eye, I don't really see that, but that thing is lighting everything up back there, which is pretty wild. But this is what you get. So far, so good. And obviously with like where I'm looking at right there to the human eye, I don't see that. I can't see that, but it does pick up ambient light really well. But where there's no ambient light, not so well. It's pretty impressive. It's like Gen 2. I'd say mid-spec Gen 2. This is where it's meeting. Not Gen 3 at all, man. So I'm trying to show you guys what you're gonna expect realistically. It's because Goodnight Gear, he did a good video, but I feel like he didn't do good enough. Like, he's, no offense, he's just trying to sell. I get it, you know, trying to sell your stuff. But at least you could try to be honest as possible, you know, just a little bit. It is dark as balls to me. So this is where that open area is. Oh yeah, you can see the trees a lot better, but then when you get down to here, get a little bit more, but where it's covered up by the thicket, not so much. I'm gonna bring that brightness level back down to level 5. Level 4, let's see what level 4 looks like. Yeah, you still see about the same. I feel like anything above level 4 and level 5 just washes stuff out. You know, that's pretty good. Right now I'm at 50 FPS. So we are not using any supplemental IR, just in case you're wondering. But you can see the railroad tracks really decently. Let me bring it to level 5, see if I can get that flickering down some. Damn, it only brings the flickering down at a certain, like way up there. Yeah, I think level 5 is good enough. Oh no, it crashed it. That's a problem with this, so it needs some software updates, because it tends to crash occasionally if you are too rapid with the UI. Smart Vision Tech is going to send me a new update at some point. I'm just still waiting. But 50 FPS, this is what you're getting. And if you were deep in the woods, you could navigate to a certain degree. You're gonna have a lot of depth perception issues where you're just gonna be stumbling a lot until you get used to it. But other than that, you can't really tell gradient very well with this compared to analog. You would probably be able to tell depth perception way better. We can do a quick zoom, which is kind of not too ideal above certain points, so probably like this is good enough. You know, you turn around. No, it's good if you want to zoom up about that far. Damn, I don't see that like that in the human eye. It looks as dark as balls over there, but it's picking up all that ambient light like crazy. But granted, for $1,000, I mean, this is pretty good. It's pretty good. Now we're out where it's open. Getting a lot more sky glow here. Are you getting all that sky glow pickup? Now let's set it to 100 FPS. So that way I can show you what it does at 100 FPS. It still does pretty decently. You can see, oh man, that flickering's terrible. I'm sorry. I mean, you can see your details really good. Pretty dang good. Damn, mosquitoes are killing me. But good night gear, you need to go out there where it's really, what is that? Stick, yeah. You need to go out there where you're not, where there's ambient light pollution, and actually test the unit compared to the Gen 3 out where it's dark as hell like this, where you're just in a small town, you only got these little bit of buildings. But I feel like, I don't know, it might be my device. Maybe it's me or my device, I'm not sure. Because I feel like his thing is a little bit more beefier than mine, which is like, what? Is there something wrong with my CMOS? I don't know. If anybody else has a SVG5 like me, comment down below what your experience is testing it. Does my device behave like yours, or is yours getting a lot more edge than mine? I don't know. Just tell me down below. Make sure that, oh, that ISO was at human eye level. Trying to not darken it too much because YouTube algorithm is gonna botch it and over darken it. So let's look in here where it's really dark. I mean, it's picking up some detail pretty good. NVG50 NVG30 would not be able to see in here. I can guarantee you it won't do it, because I've been down here in the same condition with them before, and just no. It won't do it. It ain't gonna do it. It's just gonna be this. This is what you're gonna see. That's all you're gonna see. It's gonna be grainy and just all a mess. All right, let's turn that IR on first level to show you what it's like. That's IR on. Now, because IR is a specific frequency, it tends to, there we go, that's good. I have to adjust the lens a little bit. That's IR level 1. So that's very useful. Then you can really see what's down in there. That's what's over here. Try not to touch my lens there. Adjust it a little bit more. There we go. That's what you get. IR level 1. This thing's got a really good IR light. Let me readjust. That should be good down the range. So you will have to focus this thing when you're using your IR. Make sure this thing is pushed in. There we go. It's not bad. So you can use lower level IR and you can see pretty good. This is a situation that you would use IR if you're deep in the woods, but if you're out on something like this, you can actually see enough with it where you don't need it. Now let's bring the IR level up to 2. That's what you see, level 2. And let's crank it up. I think that's maximum. Yep, that's maximum IR. That sucker's bright, dude. I have a EVA gasket that I hand built and put it in this thing to make it useful, or else it would have flooded this thing and you would not be able to see down there. I think the IR light's a little overkill at the level that it is, because I think level 1 is good enough, but at the same time, it is nice to have the IR as strong as it is so you can see way down there, but I don't know, man. It is what it is. And you can see all these woods here. What the hell is that? I see you. What is that? Let me see what that is. Hanging leaf something. Looks like 2 eyeballs staring at me. Kind of creepy. But deep in them woods right there, look how thick that is. That's just thick woods. Hearing some deer hooves over there. But thick boy. Look at all that thick woods, man. I feel like the woods that it was in wasn't really that thick either. Like, it just wasn't thick. Like, this is thick. This is Georgia woods, man. It's thick. This place, man, will really put your night vision at the test. And honestly, I feel like Gen 3 would totally destroy this thing with ease out here. So I'm gonna turn that IR light off. See if I can readjust it. I think that's good enough. Yeah, that's pretty good. But that's with the IR light off. You got some pretty good detail. I'm at 100 FPS. Yeah, you don't really need the IR for this situation because you could be able to see. But once you look deep in them woods like that, yeah, you're gonna need it. But it does a pretty good job. It does a fairly good job. You can see an extent down in there. We look back over here. You can see the details of the ground. You can see all that. All the leaves and grass. All the foliage. It's dark. I mean, it is dark, very dark, really dark. In fact, what does it look like over there? Not bad. Yeah, Gen 3 would destroy this. I'm sorry. I'm just going to be honest with you. Generation 3 night vision, analog night vision would destroy this thing. But you can see some fairly good details down in here, which is insane. Whereas the NVG30 and the 50 would just not even cut it, man. It won't do it. You wouldn't be able to see like this. You can see all the dead logs right there. All the leaves, dead leaves, foliage there. I have to watch my step and be careful. That's pretty good. I'm impressed. But I'm also curious to what kind of like environmental situations that he's in that he was comparing, because they looked identical. And I don't have Gen 3 analog. I wish I could, but I can't afford it, so. But it would be cool if I could compete an actual Gen 3 high spec analog versus this thing out here in the same conditions that I'm in, and then actually show you guys, okay, so this is what it is, you know. Then you can make your decision whether or not digital or analog's worth it. But digital's come a long way. Digital has come a long way. That's real dark right there. We don't got no. Dang, I can't see that. That's crazy. There's that shed right there. I can see the shed, but nah, I can only see its silhouette. I can't see the yard or nothing in the human eye. Creepy damn railroad tracks. Can see in their yard pretty well. I mean, it's impressive for what it does. So if I was out in the mountains with this thing, hiking or camping, like way up in the mountains, I'm talking about Blairsville, Coopers Creek area, where there's literally no city lights anywhere, sky glow might be almost nothing, pretty much nothing. You would only have stars. And I think this thing would probably struggle. Then you would have to use your IR. Right here is where it's struggling. You can see a little bit of details. Let me get down there. Yeah, a little bit of detail. I mean, the flickering ain't helping. Let me try to fix that situation. So yeah, I'm gonna have to turn it up a little bit. I think the brightness on the screen don't really make that much of a difference. It helps a little bit, but not that much. But right here is when you're hitting its limit and it starts to struggle some. You can get a little bit of detail, but it's starting to struggle a little. And you've got some thick trees right there covering all that ambient light. I'm curious to how analog would see here. I think analog would absolutely be a day-night difference with Gen 3 analog versus this thing. Completely, man. And it is dark. I mean, I'm telling you, to me, right now, if right here where I'm looking at the railroad tracks, this thing can see way farther than I can. To me, I can only see up to about a few feet. Would I be able to navigate without this or a light? Hell no. I mean, maybe along the tracks, but if the tracks weren't there for me to see, no, absolutely not. I would need this night vision device. So I can only see up to a few feet, and then obviously what's over here. So this thing is extremely infrared sensitive versus analog, so that's one thumbs up. Analog is pretty sensitive to infrared, but only to a certain point. Also, you get what's called ambient heat off of objects that provide some infrared lighting, but only to a certain level. So that which helps out analog a lot, because it, you know, but realistically not too much. I see that glow there a little bit off in trees, pretty good with the naked eye, but I can't see nothing down there. It is pitch black to me, especially right here. It's pitch black. I'm letting my eyes adjust a little bit. Oh no, it's pitch black. It is pitch black down there. This thing can see some detail down there. It's crazy work, man. You can see those logs down there. It's pretty wild. Some of the foliage. It's at 100 FPS. Now let's see what happens if I kick it down to 50. See if we can get some of that extra edge and less noise. Yeah, it does make a difference. So you get a little bit more detail down in that deep ass pit down there where it's dark. However, I don't really like to use 50 FPS because you get this little bit of lag. Yeah, there's some delay there. It's not bad, but 100 FPS is the sweet spot, because where that bicycle at? Because there's a specific spot that I gotta go up to be able to get out of here. Oof, almost tripped there. I don't want to trip. It's hard to walk. It is dark down there, man. Let's see, let's bring this brightness level down to 4. It does make a little bit of a difference. Not too much, but it does make a difference to a certain extent to seeing what's down there. But that flickering to the iPhone is annoying. So I'm going to reduce the flickering. It did not do much. Alright, whatever. I'm telling you, in the human eye, you don't see that flickering, man, when you're looking through this thing. Not at all. iPhone's gonna, or YouTube's gonna botch that stuff. I don't think you guys are gonna be able to see that, but to me, looking at the screen, I can see that branch there, some of the foliage, a little bit of branch there. Yeah, that's what you are expecting out in some serious darkness, pushing this thing's limit. I feel like the NVG90 SE would see a lot better. NVG90 standard would probably see a hair bit better, but it will probably struggle looking down here like I am. Because Christopher's NVG90, he's got the standard version, the binoc version, not the SE. And we compared the devices at Bowling Park in Canton, and they look fairly identical. I mean, very identical. It had the NVG90 standard had a little bit of an edge over the SVG5, just like a hair. But I think it's because it has a better ISP engine and noise reduction than this thing does. But relatively, they're about the same. I mean, just generally, like literally about the same in performance. But I think that's all I'm going to show for now. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. And if you've got a SVG5 yourself, tell me what your experience is. How did you feel when you put it through some serious testing or put it through similar conditions if you have? Does it look the same, or is it a little bit better than what you're seeing? Then it'll probably let me know this thing might be a dud, or it's just me, I don't know. It's just Goodnight Gear's video made me like question things. So besides that, peace. I'll see y'all later. Y'all have fun and be safe at night, man, playing with your night vision. All right, good luck.